Welcome to the Barrel Room Podcast, your front row seats to the world of whiskey and bourbon. In every episode, we're pouring up something we're talking about, from small batch standouts to big label legends. We sip, review, and break it all down one pour at a time. We'll talk tasting notes, tell stories, give the occasional review on real-life experiences, and every now and then bring in a special guest from the industry to share a pour and a conversation. This podcast is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors. Edward Jones, Chris Bridget, Age, Wisdom, Bold Strategies. Fallen Boats Craft Experience. Crafted in honor, shared in remembrance. Bowie's Liquor. Pouring paradise one bottle at a time. The Barrel Room Bourbon Plum. Pull up a chair. We're waiting for you on the inside. And Grillo's Chop and Barrel, where fine whiskey meets fine meat. So pull up a chair, have a pour as we dive into this week's episode of the Barrel Room Podcast. This pour of the Barrel Room is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Chris Ridgick. Just like a well-aged whiskey, a solid financial plan takes time, patience, and the right guidance. Whether you're investing for the future or planning your next big barrel pick, Chris is here to help you build a strategy that fits your goals and your lifestyle. So let's raise a glass to smart decisions and visit edwardjones.com/Chris Ridgick to get started. And now, this week's episode of the Barrel Room Podcast, let's welcome our hosts, Kenny Gales and Brian Biskey.
Welcome back to the Barrel Room Podcast. I'm co-host Brian Biskey alongside co-host Kenny Gales. And as you can see, we got another guest here with us today. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's John Hamilton. I own the Rack House Kitchen Wine Whiskey located in Cottleville. We've been doing upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014.
Wow, so you're on what, 11? It's 11 years?
11 years, yeah. We 11 years in August.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. Remember to like, share, comment on this episode to be entered into our blind bottle raffle this month of October, sponsored by Grillo's Chop and Barrel. But let's just get started. Talk to me about what led you to open this place? Like, were you always in the restaurant industry, or were you just a big cigar whiskey guy? How did it happen?
It's a real long story, so I'll try and keep it short. Basically, or as short as possible. So we opened up in 2014 as a Missouri winery.
Oh, okay.
So we actually had I was working with a guy that I knew from high school. And he actually had wine tanks here on site where we're making some wine. And then basically we evolved. So what happened was we had people coming in, and there's a stigma with Missouri wine.
Sure.
And like, some people love it, some people absolutely hate it. It's kind of weird to me. Because it's not that bad.
Right.
You know, but we had people coming in here who absolutely just refused to even try it. And so basically over the first couple of years, we evolved because we had people coming in and saying, hey, we love your food, which is also interesting because our food selection at the time consisted of paninis and flatbreads.
And that's it?
Right, that was it. Actually, the first steak that we ever made here, we actually did it on a panini press.
Oh,
like, we didn't have a hood. So anyway, we had people coming in saying, hey, we love the whole atmosphere, the food, everything. We just don't like the wine. And we're like, okay, well, so then we switched the wine up a little bit and started bringing stuff in from California, around the world or whatever. And then we basically evolved into a restaurant and whiskey bar. When we opened up, we had, I think, 30 different bourbon Scotch whiskeys. Now we're at our 300 and somewhere between 330, 350. I don't know. Like, the count changes on a regular basis.
Yeah, and if you ever visit them, you'll see it. You know,
You
look at the back of their bar, and it's pretty impressive. So.
Yeah, so the original plan was for this to be a hobby, just kind of something on the side that we didn't really have to be here all the time, I guess you could say. And since then, it's evolved into, we're a premier. Our menu is excellent. We change seasonally our menu. We've been in Whiskey Advocate magazine twice now for top 100 whiskey bars in the country.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So it's a complete change, and it's all based on guest feedback. You know, we take it seriously. When I read reviews, if it's constructive,
sure,
we'll take that into consideration. It's like, how can we evolve and change to be what people actually want?
Right.
Sure.
So, and we're sitting in the cigar lounge.
Yeah. So
talk about where we're sitting.
Yeah. So basically, the original concept was, let's do stuff that's, things that I like to do. which is
Makes it easy to come to work.
Yeah, drink bourbon and smoke cigars. So yeah, we are in our cigar lounge. It is fully ventilated. It's got its own HVAC system.
Oh, nice.
So if, as you notice, when we came in through the atrium, basically there's 2 doors, and so it pulls clean air from the dining room through the atrium into this room and then pumps it out, which is not very cost effective on cooling and heating.
Yeah.
But what it does do is essentially creates somewhat of a negative air pressure system, so you should not be able to smell cigar smoke in the dining room unless both doors are open.
Yep.
Or unless you come in here and see the sign that says cigar smoking, and then all of a sudden you decide you can smell cigar smoke,
Right.
which I am convinced happens from time to time.
Well, I guarantee it.
The thing is with this room, we don't advertise it a lot for that very reason, because we don't want people to think, oh, Rack House is a smoking lounge.
Yeah.
We honestly want people to first think of us as either a restaurant or a bourbon whiskey place, and not necessarily as a cigar lounge, just because of the perception. I don't want people not to come in here because of that. But on stuff like this, we have, especially when we're talking to guys who drink bourbon, more than happy to let them know we've got this here.
Of course.
It's totally first come, first serve. We do not charge a cutting fee. So if you bring your own cigars in here, you're more than welcome.
Oh, that's cool.
The only thing we ask is that even if you're just having a water, tip the servers. They're still going to come in here. That's what they're here for. We don't mind if you want to bring your own sticks in, but take care of the server staff.
Of course.
Yep.
And then usually everybody has. You can. Most people will buy at least a drink or two, obviously, which offsets that cost. And then you can get food in here too. It's the only place I know of in the area that you can get cigars, bourbon like we've got, and food service at the same in the same spot.
I
So
agree.
You're probably right. I don't know of another place.
yeah,
I mean, Lit's a great friend of ours, but there's a cigar lounge and liquor,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But yeah, and I will say, I was telling Bill, who's over here in the corner. Hi, Bill. You can't see him on camera. But I
Bill's
was
one of
telling
our
him,
members, yep.
I have been here probably half a dozen times and had no idea this cigar lounge even existed.
Yeah.
Until Bill and Tom Whitehall, shout out to Tom, who's also a member of the Barrel and Bourbon Club, was telling me about your locker club on the cigar side.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even know they had cigars
Yeah.
there, right? Because to your point, I don't smell it when I'm out there,
Right.
but I guarantee you, to your point, when people see cigar lounge
Yeah,
on the
sometimes
wall,
they-
they're like, oh, I smell that, right?
Yeah.
But your food has always been phenomenal.
Yep. Thank you. We've got a great culinary team. I've got my executive chef Clayton, our sous chef Danny.
Just met
Those
him
guys
this
are
morning.
great. Yep. Actually Danny's here, and so they put together a great menu. We just had a Swiss wine dinner, which they just knocked out of the park. Everybody
cool.
loved that. I've got a great several culinary students, so we've got a really good team right now.
So do you still make wine?
No, we don't. That is a storage room now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, we don't. Basically, around, I don't even remember, it was 2015-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. When we stopped doing the Missouri wine thing, as the solo, that we basically dropped that as well. So,
Gotcha.
but that's where we started.
That's awesome. Good
Do you
story.
want to kind of give us a little brief on the benefits of the Locker Club and what people can expect when they join? Or do you
Yeah.
have any? Are you
Well,
open?
we're on a wait list right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's a good
actually,
thing.
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, we've been on a wait list for a while, but just briefly, we currently charge $50 a month. You can have 2 guys split that if you want.
Okay.
And then it's just your standard, 1 foot by 1 foot locker. We take care of the humidity and everything with that. Give you a little key, and you pretty much have access to it. As anytime that we're open.
Sure.
We don't have a 24-hour access, but anytime we're here. And then the benefits on top of that are, if you're buying boxes, which I usually have to order. Like I just don't have a lot of inventory space. But if you're buying boxes, I give you a deal on that. And then, like I mentioned, the Swiss wine dinner. Anytime we do something that's special, any kind of an event, all of our club members, which is the cigar locker guys here, we've got a whiskey club, and then we also have wine club. So any of our paying members will get a discount on pretty much anything we're doing.
That's awesome. Well, and on top of that, obviously, Kenny and I are opening up the Barrel and Bourbon Club in the same parking lot as you. And we're going to have the Rack House available for food purchasing, so we can partner with them. and if you're over there and you're drinking whiskey and you want to come over here and smoke a cigar, I'm sure we'll figure a partnership out there as well. Because fortunately, we're not going to be allowed to do cigars over there.
Yeah.
we don't have the space, and two, Joe Maury's like, not happening. I'm like, I get it.
I think the plan is that we'll have QR codes where you can basically just order remotely, and then we'll work out the pickup or delivery, however we want to do that.
We'll just make the ambassadors of the Bourbon Club come run over and pick it up.
That'll be right.
That's you, Keith. That's you, buddy. or Chris.
Oh, he's gonna love this. It's a 4th shout out now, so Keith will be
he'll be happy about that.
He loves getting shout out.
So let's talk about the whiskey. So when I got here today, I was like, hey, is there anything that you would like to sample and kind of try on the show that is kind of special to you all? And you picked, ironically, a bottle from a friend of ours, Nathan, over at Bourbon Barrel, and then Uncle Nearest, which I know you guys are doing with St. Louis Bourbon Society, and then I think Lit is also part of that as well.
Nice.
So let's talk about this bottle, where it came from, and where the interest was at.
Well, it's an Uncle Nearest pick, which I have not been able to do one of those in the past, so that initially sparked my interest. And then Split in the Barrel with Lit. First time we've done that as well. We've split with here you go.
Thank you.
We've split with Maui's before. You talked about Mike Grillo. I talked to him a while back about maybe doing a collaboration of sorts. But basically, it came available. St. Louis Bourbon Society was behind it, so at that point, I'm like, why not?
Why not? Yeah. Drew and James are great people.
Yep, absolutely.
We're both Locker Club members as well, so that's another great club. So check them out as well.
Yep.
StLouisBourbonSociety.com. They're also on social media.
So we end up getting around 10 or 11 cases of this.
Okay.
So I've still got a few left. I think we're down to maybe in the 30s as far as total number of bottles. It comes in 127.6 proof.
He doesn't drink that. I will tell you. I was kind of getting my palate started a little bit earlier, so I didn't just hit it right off the bat. And it does not drink 127 proof at all.
Also, between Lit and you guys and the Bourbon Society, I mean, the pallets you probably had on this barrel pick.
Yeah,
it's pretty phenomenal.
Yep, and I was saying earlier that my head bartender Mike is really my go-to on this kind of stuff. He's got a great palate. He's a good guy, especially if you're trying to get into. Actually, let me take a quick step back. I mentioned that we did a whiskey club.
Yep.
In every firehouse, every patrol car, every ambulance, and every military unit, there's a bond forged in courage, sealed by sacrifice. At Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits, we raise a glass to the heroes who never made it home. Crafted in honor, shared in remembrance. Each bottle of our handcrafted whiskey tells a story of bravery, of brotherhood, of lives lived in service. And with every pour, you're giving back. Because a portion of every bottle goes directly to organizations supporting the families of fallen first responders right here in our area. To the ones who answered the call, to the ones who still do, and to those we'll never forget, Fallen Brothers, Crafted Spirits. Raise one. Remember them. Available now. Drink with honor. Support with heart.
So what that is we have a punch. So of our 300 and however many bourbon Wisconsin whiskeys that we've got 100 of them that have numbers on the menu. Okay. So when you're flipping through the menu, you'll see on the left that there's numbers by some of them. And basically we've got a little punch card, and then you punch out 100.
Oh, cool.
So it's a great opportunity for, I've had people come in before and say, hey, I want to get into the whole bourbon whiskey thing. I don't know where to start. And that's a great opportunity to say, hey, listen, if you don't know anything about it, that's going to help educate you, because we've got stuff all the way from your Japanese, Irish, your traditional stuff out of Kentucky for bourbon, and then however many different varieties of Scotch there are. Like, I'm not a big Scotch guy, but Highland, Lowland, all the Islay or whatever. So it gives you the opportunity to punch your way through. And then every time you hit a 25 number milestone, then we give you a little thing along the way.
Sure.
Like a free flight or a couple of Manhattans. Once you finish it, then we put your name on the barrel head that's out here on the outside of the cigar lounge.
Oh, that's cool.
We give you a little 1 liter logo rack house oaked barrel or charred oak barrel that you can use to age stuff if you want to, and then also a t-shirt. So it's a good opportunity. But I said all that. If you're in here, especially on Tuesdays and Thursday when Mike's here, he's a great source of information, like that, to pick out notes of this kind of stuff. He's one of those guys that if you've, had a drink or two, with his input and say, hey, I want to try something else along this line, then he's the one that's going to say, okay, like, mash bill, this kind of that. Let me put you in this direction. So
that's that guy for me.
Yeah. Because I can't do that. I wish I could.
I can't either.
Like, I just like it because it's bourbon.
So, well, what's funny is, like, when we first started this podcast and the Barrel and Bourbon Club, I didn't have a palate for crap. Like, and over the last, year, I've started to learn from being around him and him saying, "Do you taste this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I do taste that." But if you wouldn't have said that, I wouldn't have known that, right? But there's people, like, person who comes to mind for me is Zach Giese, who is also a member of our club and is also a member of the Bourbon Society. That guy can tell you, like,
oh yeah,
it hits. I can taste it on here. My wife always makes fun of us because he'll be like, on the back of the tongue, I taste this. On the front of the tongue, I taste this. And my wife's like, you have one tongue. It's not. There's not a back and a front and a side. I mean, it's just, but that's my wife. So, but yeah, it's interesting how just different whiskeys just have different flavors, and even the same whiskey brand but a different barrel.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
A single barrel is radically different.
Yeah, I was actually talking to. We were actually doing some other social media marketing, and I was talking to one of the ladies who was filming us yesterday about going down to Four Roses and doing a barrel pick with those guys years ago. And they had, 10, 12 barrels laid out on the floor. And, they were dropping the whiskey thief in each one. The lady that was conducting that that tasting, she didn't drink anything, but she'd take the glass and smell it and then tell you which yeast strain that each of those barrels were.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Which was, it's just insane. And I'm just like, I'm like, I can taste the difference between this and Scotch.
Right, exactly. Scotch is a little more peaty.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Though.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Insane.
That is
cool.
All right, so
you had the whiskey club.
Yes.
Was there a cost to be a member of that, or what does that work?
So basically, we just give you the card. You can punch your way through it at whatever pace. I've got a couple of guys who have done it over the last 10 or 11 years that have done it. I think the most is 5 times.
Wow.
Officially,
that's 500 different whiskeys.
Well, they've done it 5 times. So some of them. So actually, that's good. That's a good point. Some of the stuff comes on like this will be on there, until we run out.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it switches out.
Okay.
But
well, that makes sense.
But some of the staple stuff always say, Maker's Mark's always on there. Jack Daniel's is on there. We have the basics. But then with the variety of stuff we have, we'll put something on there that's interesting. Like, for example, like if we bring on one of your alls, like we'll put it on there. So then that exposes people to your products, because they're punching their way through and they're like, okay, well, this is number whatever. And they'll try it. And like, oh, otherwise they might not have tried it in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
But for some reason, if it's an allocated bottle or something that's a short run that we run out of, then we switch the numbers out.
Yeah.
So there are some variety to the numbers if you do it multiple times, but for the most part, 90% of them all say the same.
Do you remember there was a restaurant and bar in like South St. Louis called Growlers?
Yeah, it's the same concept. That's where I got the idea from.
Okay, I was like, because I was in. Well, I worked right across the street, so I'd go in there and I would try different beer. And I finally got my mug, and that place shut down, unfortunately. But the kind of a similar concept.
That's where I got the idea from. Yeah, well, I never made it all the way through. I started a card there and just never.
Well, I was also a good friend of mine started Global Brew in Edwardsville. That's where I grew up, and like I went through 250 beers. I got a jacket with a patch on it, and my dad was like, "You know how much money you just pissed away on beer?" I'm like, "But I got this cool jacket."
Right.
But it's fun to just try different things and learn what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
Whiskey's the same way.
And I don't try to beat people up on that, because it is a lot. You're buying 100 of them over the course of however long it takes you. So I try and keep everything, for the most part, reasonably. Sure. I'm not, like, we're talking about the Whistle Pig Boss Hog 12 that just came in. That's not on there. I'm not gonna make you do a $65 pour to get a punch or whatever. So
Joe over Maui, he was telling you, had a couple of those out, and he was like, "Do you want one? You knew of this bar." I was like, "How much?" He's like, $600. I was like, "I don't need it that bad."
Yeah,
it's probably pretty good, but
I've not tried it.
Yeah, I don't know. The 10-year are just okay, and that's in that Gold Pig that we've tried. But it's also a rye. I'm just now starting to like rye.
I know, right? So. Yeah, no. There was another cool concept. One of our buddies, his name's Mike Watt. went over to Europe, and I think he studied abroad when he was at Mizzou. Well, it's like called the Dow Jones bar, and so like say you order that's not Bud Light's not a good term, but say you order a certain lager and you keep ordering that, it goes up every time, so the stock raises every time you buy it. So then when you buy a certain number of them, or people buy a certain number of that beer in a bar, it crashes, so the entire stock crashes. So basically, so you order all those beers, it adds it up, so it forces you to try another one, and then at some point the stock market crashes and goes back down, so that people start ordering again. That's so it was like a really cool concept that he was explaining to me, and I was like, man, we need something like that here, because that's super cool. Yeah. But it kind of goes along with kind of your concept, and that's what made me reminded of that concept, because it makes people like try new things and be open to trying new things. Because most people are like, oh, I only like bourbon, so I don't want to try a rye. Mm-hmm. But then if it's on that list, it almost forces them kind of to try that, because you have to go through that whole list, you know? Yeah. So I think that's a great concept. I actually think that helps people to be open and grow their palate and maybe enjoy something they might have never tried.
Yeah. I actually think there's a bar like that in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where University of Michigan is at. Yeah. And they do the same thing. It's like a big digital board basically behind the bar. And if like Busch Light's not selling, you could get a Busch Light for like 75 cents. Yep. But if, let's say, Space Dust is selling a lot, it could be $12 a glass. Yeah. Theirs doesn't crash necessarily. It's just based off of volume, what's being sold, what's not, and the prices can fluctuate from minute to minute.
And it could have been more of that line. I just
service ring that.
I have no idea. I have no clue. I was there one time for work a long time ago, and I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. But I just remember getting a Busch Light for 75 cents.
And that could have been the same thing. Maybe I don't remember the whole story, but it's along those lines. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool concept. Yeah,
really cool concept.
But anyway.
Well, let's dive into our next bottle here. Shout out to Burnt Barrel. Yeah. This is their honey whiskey, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
grab that one?
Yeah. I'll grab
it. So we Nathan came in a while back. So if you're not familiar, Burnt Barrel is out in Lake St. Louis, so not very far from here.
Nope.
This one is a honey cask. I believe he did it's like 3 to 5 gallon, if I remember correctly. But it was actually a honey barrel, so this is there's nothing artificial about this. He basically put the product into a barrel that had honey in it previously, if I remember right. And he's going to correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
but
I think it was like correct, 6 months or so. The barrel he used was Blacksmith, Russ Broker's.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
With honey barrel whiskey. Yeah. He made his honey whiskey in, and then he put his juice in one of Russ's barrels to make the honey whiskey, but it didn't have any honey.
Yeah, right. If you ever meet Nathan, man, that guy knows about a million different varieties of honey. I mean, I didn't realize there were so many different varieties of honey, but he's very passionate, very good at what he does. And
his meat comes into play.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will tell you, he also I don't know if it's out yet, so Nathan, if I'm screwing you over here, I'm sorry. But he's making moonshine now. Yeah. He's got apple pie moonshine.
They're out.
And snickerdoodle moonshine, and I will tell you, it's scary.
Yeah.
We're doing
the snickerdoodle and apple pie one are phenomenal. He was just at an event with me last week, so I do know they're out now. So, yep.
Cool. We're actually doing a course dinner with him.
Oh, sweet.
In 3 weeks, I think. I'm going to say it, talk about it now, but it's already actually sold out. I think yesterday we had 1 ticket left. But he's doing a whole lineup, gin, all the way through. It's not just bourbon. And then Chef Clayton is pairing, courses with each one of them. So the way as quickly as it's sold out, we'll probably do another one sometime in January or February.
Should probably pair the dessert with that snickerdoodle moonshine or the apple pie one. Maybe do one around Thanksgiving, like closer to it, and use that apple pie for the dessert one. That's
what's crazy about Burnt Barrel is I didn't even know what mead was until I met Nathan. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't. It's not necessarily something that you can. I mean, I guess you maybe can buy it in the grocery store. I don't know, but it's not like marketed like a beer or a spirit of some kind. And he was like, "Here, try this." When we got done our podcast, and I was like, "Okay." So I took a drink. He's like, "That's 20% alcohol." I was like, "Holy crap!" It tastes as sweet like a beer, like a real sweet beer. It was really cool. So
not to back up, but that Uncle Nearest pick was a really good pick. Yeah. Definitely get some nice sweet vanilla caramel, get a little marshmallow, some toast, and then I get that subtle oak on the back end. It definitely sits there and it just lingered in my mouth, so it's like my whole mouth got coated. Like my tongue, it just makes you keep tonguing, It's like so good pick there. Like you said, how many bottles are left?
I think we've got about
30 bottles.
About 30. Okay. The honey cask we're down to
Okay.
8 maybe.
Sweet. How can people get it? Do they have to come here? Can they go on a website? Is it?
They should both be available on our website if you want to go ahead and pre-purchase.
Yep.
But you have to come here to pick it up either way.
Okay.
So if you just want to walk in, that's fine
All
too.
right.
I can't ship.
Yep.
So I don't want anybody thinking I can mail it or whatever. You have to come here one way or the other.
Okay.
So our website is therackhouse.kww.com.
Cool. All right. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to just pass that one up. I kind of want to touch
that's
on it
not bad.
and give kind of a little bit of what I thought on it. So very good pick. Shout out to Lit and Bourbon Society and
Yep,
Rack House for that
absolutely.
one.
So I took a drink of this honey.
Now let's try this honey
But
one.
I didn't take a drink of water first.
My brother loves this one, by the way. He Nathan gave us a bottled raffle off with our club, and my brother won it. And he's got more of a sweet palate, so
He does,
this is one of his absolute favorites he's ever had. So
Yeah, he brought it to the Bourbon Society one night and was like, "You got to try this."
Yep.
I was like, "I did live on the freaking podcast. Man. I know what it tastes like."
Right.
He's like, "Oh, that's right. That's right."
I'll get to them.
Yep.
Uh,
Brian, you need some? You got
No,
some?
I'm good. But I was just gonna say, I had the Uncle Nearest on my tongue still.
Mhm.
That, and you were correct. So I took this and I was like, okay, that doesn't taste right. So I just took a drink of water to try to like clear that out.
Now.
And
Good thinking.
because otherwise it's different.
Bill, you need some honey cask. Yeah, come on.
Bill needs some honey
Bill,
cast.
come on live on the show. We don't mind. Bill's like, I don't want to be seen on TV.
Bill's a member of the Rack House and of our Bourbon Club.
Yep.
So
Yeah, great supporter of both. I would tell you that. So is Tom Whitehill, by the way.
Yep.
Tom's been a fantastic supporter of ours, and I know he's a great supporter
Yep.
of yours too. He talks about you guys all the time.
He was here last night.
thankfully, Bill and I were able to link up today. Bill has a laser engraving company, and so he does our glasses and our coasters. So, Bill, you want to give anywhere they can find you if they need some laser engraving done?
Sure. It's STLLaserworks.com.
Okay.
STLLaserworks.com. In case the mic did not pick you up. But
Yep.
yeah, check them out on Facebook. If you follow either Kenny and I or the Barrel Room Podcast or Barrel Room Bourbon Club at Maui's, we shared that last night, so you can find him there.
Yep. All right, cool.
All right, let's dive into this honey.
I'm definitely glad we had the Uncle Nearest before this one, because this one would have
Oh, that
just
tastes
that
much
honey
better.
would have just
Yeah,
taken over.
that is a very, very,
But man,
very
that's
good. It's sweet. You can taste
Yes.
the honey. I don't know if I could drink more than like 1 or 2 pours of this, unless I was cold out by a fire.
Well, it's got to get cold first.
Well, that's
yeah.
that's fair.
It's been getting chilly in the morning.
It's
but yeah,
been-
it's got to
it's getting
stay
better.
cold. Yeah.
It's getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, it's what is it today? October what?
10th.
10th, and we're still. I was thinking it's gonna be. I saw 83 degrees on Sunday for a high.
Man,
It's
that's
just
like
nuts.
this reminds me when I was younger, when I family didn't have a ton of money, but I'd make some toast and I'd put the honey on the toast. It's exactly what it tastes like. So it's like honey toast.
Yeah.
Because it's got the honey gets almost sweeter when it warms up and kind of isn't so thick, and then that's what I get.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. It's sweet, but it's not overpowering.
Because it even
honey.
smells like
Right.
that honey toast. As soon as you start spreading it, the
Yeah.
honey gets a little bit more
Yeah.
scent and
Introducing the all-new Barrel Room Bourbon Club at Maui's Liquor. For true whiskey lovers, this is your place. Your whiskey, your people, your club. Membership means your own personal locker to store the bottles you love most. Plus 10% off everything at Maui's Liquor and Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits. And that's not all. You'll enjoy 15% off every exclusive Barrel Room Bourbon Club pick. Bring a guest, kick back in our private bourbon lounge, and enjoy unlimited pours. All drinks and beers behind the bar are included. This is more than a club. It's a community of bourbon drinkers who live united by the pour. Lockers are limited and filling fast, so don't wait. Visit BarrelRoomBourbonClub.com today and become one of the first to join the Barrel Room. Your locker's waiting. Your pour is ready. Welcome to the Barrel Room.
I just ordered the last bottle from you, so.
Oh, did you?
I'll take
Okay.
that when I leave.
All right.
nice. So what? I guess what is the future of Rack Household? Any plans or?
I mean, just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like at this point, our menu is great. We used to do more drastic seasonal changes where it was mostly an overhaul of not only just the food menu, but the cocktails and sometimes the wines, like just wholesale changeover. And it's one of those things where some people like to go to a restaurant and try new things every time, and some people like to go to a restaurant and try the one thing that they know they like.
That's me.
And I'm
me
that way
too.
too. And so what happens is we're getting a lot of people coming in and saying, "Hey, you guys still have the whatever?" And we're like, "No, we don't. That was the last menu. When are you going to bring it back?" I don't know if we're going to bring it back because like we just change all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the past, and there's some restaurants that do that, and that's their thing, and people love it, and that's great. And so I'm not knocking that. But I feel for our group of regulars and guests that come in that they're kind of looking for a little bit more of an established menu. And so when we change stuff now, we kind of change the ensemble on the plate, not necessarily the entree, the main dish.
More of the presentation and stuff.
The presentation, but also like so winter we're gonna have more Brussels sprout in the spring. So actually salads is a great example. So in the fall and winter we have a Brussels sprout salad. People love it. And then around March or so we take it off for the strawberry salad.
Yep.
People love that too. But the problem is I have about 6 months where somebody's upset that the salad they like is not on, and everybody else is waiting for the one that they like to come back.
Yeah.
But the thing is with those two is we flip them every year. So if it's summer and you're looking for the strawberry or the Brussels sprout, we say, hey, you want to come back in September, October? It'll be back, and then people can rely on that now. So
You know what? There's something to that.
Yeah.
Because you see these major food chains like McDonald's, Burger King, I just saw the other day, brought Cine Minis back that were off their menu.
Yeah.
And there's, when the McDonald's brings back the McRib, which I don't know why anybody likes that, because I don't even know if it's real meat, to be frank with you. The line is like around the block for a McRib.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's because it wasn't there and now they want it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So there's something to be said about the demand of that.
There is, and then we're actually, not that we're doing that with particular things, but we're trying to bring in, so we've done kangaroo 3 times on our menu recently.
Yeah.
So we started this back, I believe in April, if I remember correctly, and we brought it in just to kind of see how it went, and we sold out before Saturday. And they were like, well, let's, we'll try it again.
Yeah.
And so then, I don't know, June or so, might have been July, we tried it, we brought it back, we sold it out by early Saturday again. And so we just did this 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point. We ordered twice as much this time, brought it in, and we still sold out by early Saturday. So
What does it taste like?
So kangaroo it's somewhere in between beef and like venison, but and to me like the texture and like the fat content or how lean it is more like venison, but it's not gamey. So I know a lot of people don't like your deer meat just because it has that gamey taste to it, and you've got to like soak it in milk and everything else to get rid of that. It does not have that. The chef did an excellent job with it. So that kind of gave us the idea, like, all right, what else can we do? And so 2 weeks ago we had ostrich, which was pretty cool because I just thought ostrich would be like a big turkey.
Yeah.
It's not. It's actually red meat. And if I showed you a picture of it, like if you cut into it, it looks like you're basically eating a fillet.
I never thought that.
I didn't either.
Really?
Yeah. So if you like
Was
beef,
it good?
yeah, it was good.
Is it lean or is it fatty too?
It's more fatty than the kangaroo, but it's very similar to a fillet. You got a little bit, but really not a whole lot. And then last week we did a bone-in bison with it was basically like I can't remember the term, but it's basically a shoulder section. So you got the meat, but then you also got the bone with some marrow in it. So if you're a bone marrow type person, that was people love that too. So
yeah, they do.
We're trying to do some stuff that isn't too far off, for people, but it's close enough that they'll try it. And even if they don't want to try it or you don't even like it or whatever, they still talk about it. So we've been getting a lot of buzz about kangaroo, even from people who didn't come in to try it. They're just like, oh my gosh, I heard you guys had kangaroo. I'm like, yeah, we did. And like, I would never try that. I'm like, well, that you don't have to, but
Right.
tell your friends.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're selling out.
So,
of it,
so we're
that's-
trying to do
that's
some
cool.
interesting stuff like that. We always have our menu always has duck on it. We always do there's always a couple of beef cuts. Our pork porterhouse is excellent. So we always try to keep kind of a basic, and especially with duck, you don't get that everywhere.
No.
And that's another one that people they're familiar enough with that they'll try it if they haven't before, but it's not, you're not getting it everywhere around the area. So
My old college roommate used to hunt ducks and would come home and make them. It was good, but it was different.
Yeah.
It was good, but different.
Yeah.
I don't. That's the best way I could probably describe it. Because it wouldn't be. I can tell you, it wouldn't be for everybody.
Sure.
But if you're a meat person and you're open to trying different things, it has a great flavor to it too, in my opinion.
Yep,
At least
I
the way
agree.
you cook it. So. Let's talk about this bottle next. This is I'm going to talk a little bit about it, then I'll let you kind of round it out. But
You're fine.
So I approached Kenny probably 2 or 3 months ago, and I said, "Hey, I want to do a Halloween bottle for the Barrel Room Bourbon Club. Would you be willing to do that with me?" And he's like, "Sure, we can do a Halloween bottle." So this is called Fallen Oak. It is a 11-year double oaked whiskey, and the part that I got to do, which was really the only part I gave a crap about, was on the side of the label. I am a huge Halloween fan. If you know me or drive by my house, I have Halloween decor everywhere, outside and inside, and I'm a diehard Halloween movie fan, and so I'm a big Michael Myers fan. So I hired an artist to render this label here on the side. It has a fire truck in the back of what appears to be a fallen oak tree. And that fire truck is obviously there to represent Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits, who we partnered with on this pick and on this bottle. And then you have Michael Myers on it with 2 kids trick-or-treating. And if you look really hard, you can actually find the Barrel Room Bourbon Club's logo somewhere on this bottle. I'm not going to tell you where. So this was a passion project of mine, but I will tell you the juice came out incredible. And it's now available for pre-order, and we'll be releasing it on Thursday, October 30th at the Post for our Barrel Room Bourbon Club bottle share. So if you're interested, you can go to Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits, you can go to the Barrel Room Bourbon Club, anywhere to buy it. But I'll let Kenny talk about the mash bill, the proof, all of that, because that's more him.
Yeah, no, so you can also find it at Maui's Liquor in Cottleville. They will be carrying it, so you can pick it up from them once you purchase it. Or you can purchase it through FallenBrothersCraftedSpirits.com. So what it is, it's an 11-year whiskey that's been double oaked. It's a bourbon. It's 116 proof, and the mash bill is 78.13.9. So, with that 11-year, it definitely gives you some more oak, and then you double oak it, and it gives you a little more added oak. Not like a dried oak, but it adds a little touch of like newer oak, so a little more, the caramels and the vanillas kick out, and then on the back end, you definitely get a little spice that lingers a little bit,
It's really smooth,
but
it's got a good sweetness to it.
It does have a good sweetness as well.
This is what I like.
Ooh,
You're
yeah.
making me jealous.
Hey, you want some?
Here we
Come
go.
here.
Bob's empty.
Bill, you should have just said it
Or
right
Bill,
here,
not
okay?
Bob, Bill.
Yeah, so it's special to me, but it's the first time I've ever had the opportunity to do something like this. So hats off to Kenny and Fallen Brothers for allowing
Thank you.
our club to do this. We price it where we thought was fair, $95 a bottle, because it is an 11-year whiskey.
And also, I don't know if you touched on it, but
I had 90.
even on the $95, we still give a portion of probably 10% is going to go back to breast cancer since it's October. With me being in the fire service and all that, breast cancer awareness is huge for us. Even with being at the fire district, we wear breast cancer T-shirts, and multiple districts do that as well. So for me, we carry our own breast cancer T-shirts that are available. If you go to our social media pages, you can click on the link that we have provided there if you want to order some of those shirts. But I thought it was an honor to be able to do that this month and give back to that organization. So thanks, Brian, for letting us do that. And thanks for the Barrel Room Bourbon Club for doing the barrel pick through us. So
So what do you think?
Oh, it's excellent.
You like it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Bill, what do you think? You like it?
Nailed it.
Yep.
Really nice.
thank you.
Well, and where I came up with the name was, obviously I knew it was going to be a double oak, and I was trying to pair that with something Halloween, right? And I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Thank you, ChatGPT. You helped me figure it out. But yeah, I bet I researched names and used ChatGPT for hours before I settled on the Fallen Oak. And I called Kenny. I was like, "What do you think about Fallen Oak?" He's like, "I like it. It's a cool name for a bottle."
Yeah, and then like you said, you got a creepy little scenario with the tree falling over, and probably you got the fire truck in the background, so it's got a little red glow in the background, and that could be one of those things where they're responding to the tree down. Maybe it hit some wires, and we're responding to that call, but then it's the same night it's Halloween, so trick or treaters are at the door, and then all of a sudden Michael Myers is over there in the corner, and the fire department don't even see it. So like you can put your own little story together once you look at the
made
picture.
a movie out of it.
But anyway, so that's kind of what I gathered from it. Once I looked at the picture, all that kind of came to my mind, and I know some of that stuff from being in the fire service, so responding to certain calls. So that's immediately, we've been on multiple calls where trees have fallen and hit wires, so wires down, and we're there to check it out and cut the tree up, or call the electric company to come out and disconnect service to it or whatever they need to do. So
Anyway, it's good, and like Kenny said, you can get it at Maui's Liquor as well. But just wanted to.
Hopefully the rack house too. You might be able to get a pour.
Yeah, let's work something out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. So, well, anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up?
We just appreciate your support. And if you're not coming to us, any local establishment, what I tell people is, the best thing you can do outside of actually, patronizing them and going there is to share their stuff on social media. It's free. Give them a 5-star Google review. That helps. And people tell me all the time, they're like, well, I don't look at the Google reviews. And my response to that is, if you're ever out of town and you're pulling up restaurants near me,
100%, yeah,
and you see one that is 4.6, like we are, and you see one that's 4.2, and they're both a reasonable distance, and you're kind of, you don't have to read the reviews.
Yeah.
You look at the star levels.
you go to the 4.6
Right.
time.
And so that's why I tell people on Google, you don't even don't leave a review if you don't want to. Just give us a 5-star, or any of the local. There's a lot of local businesses around. They're the ones that you're asking for fundraisers, that kind of stuff. Everybody needs support right now. Costs are up. The economy's just not helping us any of us. I talked to Mike Grillo the other night. Same thing. Like we're all struggling right now, and so the more support you can give local businesses, the better. If you want to keep them around long term. So
100%.
100% agree with that. Couldn't agree with
Yeah, and not to be negative or anything, but the one thing, please don't bash any small business on social media. That takes thousands of dollars from their business. If you have any issues, maybe email or contact the owner or the business itself before sticking it out there to the public. They can probably mitigate that issue before somebody ends up causing thousands of dollars loss to that business. So that's the one big thing that I would always recommend.
Totally agree.
Yeah, 100% agree. Well, thanks for watching. Just quick reminder, like, follow, or share this episode. Also, our next event, our bottle share on October 30th. And then if you are living under a rock, you haven't seen that, the Barrel and Bourbon Club will have a physical location starting in November. Don't have an exact date yet. Obviously, there's some things we got to work out. But there's lockers for sale. There's memberships for sale. You can check those out at barrelandbourbonclub.com. Rack House is going to be a partner of ours. They're going to be able to provide some food for our guests, things along those lines. But we appreciate all the support that all of you have given Barrel and Bourbon Club and Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits and the Rack House. And so on behalf of us, we appreciate that. Thank you. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Cheers.